Shirley. A name that players of the Tower of Fantasy are extremely familiar with. But in the next moment, she was stabbed again. After the decisive battle of Domain 9. When everything seems to have settled. The protagonist accidentally learns that Shirley is in a coma. According to the image, Shirley is collapsed due to physical exhaustion. But we all know that's not really the case. Shirley is to help us, using power that shouldn't belong to her. The power of a woman named Nemesis. After the protagonist learned about it, anxious to visit Shirley. So who is Shirley to you? When you lose your memory, the first person you saw with open eyes was her. After backing up your memory, she's the one who went to Vera with you. When you are deeply in danger, she is the one who is willing to stay and face you together. When you return safely, she is the one waiting at the exit of the abyss to pick you up. When you have a rescue plan, she is the one who cooperates with you harmoniously. When you go to dangerous ruins, the person who took the initiative to go together was her. When you stopped the Jade Egg transformation, she was the one who caught you in time. When you rushed to the decisive battle of Nest Mother, is she the one who paved the way for you to enter the ruins? She's Shirley. A girl caught up in a conspiracy vortex. A smiling face to a wandering girl. A girl silently supporting you. Shirley stayed behind us all the time. She has also been guarding behind us all along. Shirley is a special presence in the Phantom Tower. For veteran players. Because we didn't skip the plot of Fantasy Asperia. Shirley, we know, is a little girl under the protection of her brother. Growing up to be a big girl who can travel to other time and space to find her brother. For new players. Although we skipped the plot of Asperia. But Shirley has always been by the player's side. Although she has changed her image. But still with the same kindness and confidence. But Shirley is also the saddest person who was stabbed in the game. When she was very young. The father was found by Hykros to be the son of the heirs of Ida. Forced to commit suicide. Her mother also left with it. Left her brother Zeke to raise her. Even if her background is tragic. Shirley still hasn't given up. She wants to grow up. When she grows up, she can be on her own. She can help her brother, who is the leader of the shelter. She finally achieved her wish. She gained recognition from her brother. But she hasn't had a chance to be happy yet. Following closely behind the raiders. She mutated again to protect her brother. In everyone's consensus. If you mutate, it's like you're hopeless. Shirley's life seems to have come to an end. Is this enough for the knife? No, this is just the beginning. Zeke is seduced by the heirs of Ida. Shirley is also involved in a deeper conspiracy. Aberrant, she was transformed into an Angle of Clemency by the Sage. Or she was the container for Angle of Clemency. A consciousness named Nemesis entered her transformed body. This plunged her into a deep sleep. Zeke, accompanied by Freja, brings Shirley to Dr. Claire of Cetus Island. Finally, with the help of the protagonist, Nemesis' consciousness is suppressed. Shirley's consciousness is awakened again. It's also at this time Zeke realized that he had been cheated. What the Sage wants is not to cure Shirley. It's Shirley's body that can be used as a container. Zeke confronts the Sage. As a result, Shirley was taken away again. Also authorized the activation of the spatial temporal device. The protagonist saves Shirley again. But at this time, the plan of the Sage has begun. In the decisive battle at the top of the tower, the Sage awakened Nemesis again. Fortunately, she was successfully rescued by Zeke. But to shut down the time-space engine. He also disappeared into the turbulence of time and space. Shirley has lost even her last relative. Since then, we have accompanied Shirley on the journey to find her brother. In order to find her brother, no matter how dangerous the action may be, she will be the first to sign up and participate. Please allow me to go together. Also, I am applying to join the action. Just because she's afraid of missing the opportunity to find her brother. She traveled all over the Vera Desert. She passed through the Miasma Swamp. She searched everywhere in Grand Sea. But there is still no news from her brother. Until she came to a closed space-time called Domain 9. She finally met her brother. She watched him work. She accompanied him to light the Kongming lamp. She cares about his recent situation. She confided in him about the past. But he doesn't remember the past at all. Zeke has long lost his memory in the turbulence of time and space. He has a new name, Mingjing. He has a new responsibility to protect Aquaville. He has a new name, Xuanwu Weisho. But all this didn't make Shirley compromise. She still hasn't been discouraged. She didn't force her brother to think of herself either. She just hopes her brother's safety is good. We thought that being so far away was already a tragedy on Earth. But we didn't expect the ending. The person who got stabbed will still be her. Shirley is unconscious again. Last time, she tried to protect her brother Zeke, causing suppressor failure. This time, for the sake of the Executor. Using power that didn't originally belong to her. This power comes from another girl. She's a real angle of clemency. She came from the world before the cataclysm. She's like Plotty, having the ability to authorize. She's Nemesis. Who is Nemesis? Nemesis is a transliteration of Chinese. The true translation is Nemesis. That is to say, the goddess of revenge in ancient Greek mythology. Nemesis represents ruthless justice. Justice itself is a good thing, but excessive justice will turn things around when they reach their limits. She believes that no one should have too much good luck. Therefore, they will curse those who are blessed. But Nemesis is just the code name taken by the sage for Angle of Clemency. Just like many Ida cadres in Warren Snowfield. Her real name is unknown to everyone, but only from the meaning of the goddess of revenge. It can be seen that her existence will be for revenge. She has the authority to authorize the new reactor. It means that she was a core member of the Norn Federation or Hycros before the cataclysm. Plotty is on duty. Permission level is level 5. Then the authority of Nemesis will not be lower. But what Xiaofeng is more curious about is when she woke up. There is another soul living within the body. Do we rarely see this phenomenon? Just an example, Dopa, the medicine elder in the sky, jokingly referred to as the grandfather in the ring. He can be said to be Xiao Yan's wind spirit moon shadow. Many literary works also equip the protagonist with a symbiotic body. Either it's a soul or it's a tool spirit. In the Zhongyuan diagram, there are even primordial gods living within the body that can reverse time and space. This also gives the protagonist the ability to cheat. So has Shirley ever hung up? There really is. Shirley is in Vera's action. Awakened a magical ability. Gray space entity can be detected. Her argument is to upgrade the functionality with Shelley. But is this really the case? Mia is still a lesson from the past. That's not to say that Shelley is weak. On the contrary, Shelley can be said to be Vera's most powerful engineer. But she didn't know much about the technology before the cataclysm. Because it was an era of omnium energy. The Meroria that Shelley lives in are exactly the environment without omnium energy. If Shelley can study and understand the angle of clemency. I don't quite believe it. Even the headquarters of Asperia, Hycros, couldn't find any clues. Otherwise, the existence of Nemesis consciousness will not be tolerated. So when did Shirley wake up to this ability? Go to the Research Institute in Liberia in public. Shirley is searching for clues. The gray space entity suddenly materializes and attacks. It means that Shirley doesn't have this ability at this time. But when people entered the confounding abyss and saw Abyss Anthera, a very strong ABI signal was detected. That's right, starting from here. Shirley can suddenly detect the gray space body. Then she met Umi at Sentry 10. And she used this power to thwart the undercover conspiracy. But pay attention to Shirley's words. The first one is that the detection range is not large. The second one is, but then the ellipsis. How large is the detection range not large? Black Nanine opens the relics of Hive Mother Seal. Shirley, who is in Aquaville, can accurately know the coordinates. I won't mention the ellipsis. Tata's usual riddle person. One sentence, half a sentence. Either it's just a twist in the conversation. Directly shift the topic. You will find that it starts with Vera. Shirley's ability is gradually improving. It's like cheating. If she hadn't used her own strength. But the ability of Nemesis? Nemesis also lives in Shirley's body. If something goes wrong with Shirley, it's like Nemesis will also die. Even if it's a compromise or cooperation. She won't allow Shirley to have an accident. But there was almost an accident. During the underwater battle, Shirley's strength has far exceeded the standard. Compared with Lynn, Fiona's strength. You can see that Shirley also seems to be hanging up. But still outnumbered. Fortunately, with the help of reinforcements, Shirley's relationship with Nemesis may be more complex than we think. We have always believed that one side is suppressing the other. But they already share the same body. What agreement will be reached between them? What kind of confrontation will there be again? We all have no idea. But there is one thing we can perceive. That's what happened to Shirley. Speaking of something wrong with Shirley. Since the beginning of the Domain 9 chapter. Remember Timestamp's assessment? What on earth did Shirley see? She concealed the true situation from us. And there is only one person in the game who knows this situation. That's the Domain 9 supercomputer Tempo's supercomputer. At first, we didn't know what the timestamp assessment was. What is the Heartway? We thought it was like a cultivation novel. It was seen through its heart. But when we learned of the existence of Tempo's supercomputer, everything will be clear now. It's just a computer. Not omnipotent. So it can only see superficial things. Tempo's supercomputer warned us at the end of Heartway. That means what it saw in Shirley's assessment. It can be seen from the protagonist's Heartway. The content displayed by Heartway is the experience of the protagonist. And Tempo's supercomputer. So is Shirley. It's just that Shirley has another variable. Seeing more than just her own experiences. And the experience of Nemesis. And there's also a crucial aspect hidden here. Tempo's supercomputer, Nemesis, and Shirley. Have they ever had a conversation with each other? Nemesis has the ability to authorize. But it also requires a supercomputer to perform. The only one who meets this standard in the Domain 9 is Tempo's supercomputer. Through it, Nemesis preemptively authorized the new Omnium reactor. Tempo's supercomputer, it's impossible not to know. The role it plays in it is very intriguing. Even when Plotty asked. It's also a puzzle player. Not just initial authorization. Even when Shirley uses the power of Nemesis. Tempo's supercomputer is a supercomputer. Will it not know what happened? It didn't stop Shirley or Nemesis. I doubt what deal has been reached between Tempo's supercomputer and Nemesis. Even in these plans, Shirley is still an insider. After coming to Domain 9, some of her behaviors are very inconsistent. For example, not recognizing her brother. But what if she knew her ending? What if Nemesis' consciousness has been active? What if they reach an agreement? Now it has become the best situation. Zeke is still alive and has a new life. Even if Shirley disappears again, he won't be sad or upset either. Only one person will make Shirley feel sorry. That person is the executor. So she said her final farewell. I can't be with you this time. Do be careful. You absolutely can't get hurt. Even if it's an injury, it doesn't really matter, right? I still have Shirley. Sigh. That's true. I've always had to take care of you. Hey. Why did you suddenly start being stunned? You are always so strong. Shirley. Thank you for always being with me. It's the same for me, too. Find the meaning of the existence as an angle of clemency. At that time, with such consciousness, we embarked on a journey together. But he is indeed not something that can be easily achieved. Although I gained a lot during the journey. But I still haven't found the clearest answer that can rush towards him without any worries. But you by my side. Be always able to walk at the forefront with a high head. Smiling as we welcome the future filled with infinite unknowns. What would your answer be? Is there any way I can be like you? At the most perplexed moment, I have thought about it more than once. But, at least I can't stop because of confusion in my heart. If I'm stuck spinning in place, I can't change anything. So I am determined to walk in your direction. Perhaps it's unlikely to follow you immediately. But from a distance, I can see ahead, your figure is there. I also know that you will always be there. Pay attention to her final movements. Shirley secretly wiped her tears. It's believed many people have sensed it. These words are more like explaining the future affairs. But she also had extravagant hopes before. If only nothing happened. But this is ultimately a luxury hope. With the launch of the Celestial Cannon, Gestos is offline. Shirley resolutely released the power of Nemesis. Pay attention to her movements and expressions. She is actively releasing her strength. This indicates that there are two situations. Scenario 1. The leader is Shirley. But she used the power of Nemesis. It means that she not only knows the existence of Nemesis, she can still rely on her power. Scenario 2. The leader is Nemesis. Shirley's consciousness is suppressed again. This means that Shirley and Nemesis may have made a deal. Regardless of the situation, Nemesis has entered the world of Gestos across time